This is another public service announcement from Rom Wills. Ladies, y'all need to give that man that severance pussy. Now, I know the title said something different. And it needed to, because I'm still trying to stay out of the line of sight of the YouTube po-po. Or as we used to call them back in the day in DC, the rollers. Look, ladies, y'all need to get that severance pussy though, right? You know, because when you about to break up from that man, right? And y'all know y'all gonna break up, because most women know they gonna break up like, months before they actually do it. They ain't like they think about it all of a sudden. They say, I'm gonna break up from this dude today. Y'all been thinking about it. Y'all been working on that exit plan. Even if you married to dude, right? I've heard from divorce attorneys that they be put on retainer by some woman 2 years before they actually file anything. So don't y'all know y'all about to fire him. He ain't been doing something right. But see, ladies, I'm going to give y'all some game, right? You can't just fire him and not give him a going away present. Or give him something to leave with. See, this is why a lot of women, they kick a man to the curb, break up with him, but then he end up coming back, be outside their window and shit, be in the bushes, be following them. Know all their Facebook moves and whatnot. Know when they come into basically you being stalked. That's because he didn't know that'd be the last time he get pussy from you. Cause see, I got a bad habit of cutting a man off. And see, a man go crazy. I learned this game when I was in college. When I was a college freshman, I used to hang out with seniors and grad students, and they told me. They said, yeah, you break up from that woman, you be going downtown finding that prostitute or something, getting out that money. Because he didn't know. That's why he go crazy. He didn't know. That's why some men even get dangerous. They didn't know that'd be the last time they hit it. Because it might have been subpar to you, or he doing something else wrong. Or wrong in your eyes anyway. But shoot, he likes your doggy style. Shoot. So you gotta give him some severance pussy, right? And, you just sit him down, right? And just say, look, baby, this ain't working, right? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a severance package. All right? Now, I'm gonna let you hit it one doggy style one last time, and, I'll give you about 12 strokes on your dick. I'll suck it, 12 good times. And then, I might tongue kiss you. I don't know. Yeah, I hit him with that. Depending on how good he was. Like, if he's real cool, like, especially if he's, like, generally a nice guy and you just got bored with him. And, I know some women think, but his sex was whack. Well, hell, that makes the severance, that makes it easier. Because he ain't going to last that long. But then he's leaving with good feelings and shit, right? And if it's really good, right? He's really good. You might keep an option to rehire him. Bring him back on as a consultant. Yeah. And I know y'all thinking, Rom, crazy. So what if the dude crazy? Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to just fire him and then, have him escorted from the building. If he dangerous, see, that's when you don't call the police, because they can only do so much. Call your cousins, Junior and Boo Boo. Have them right there with you in case there's going to be any problem. Like I said, you might have to escort them from the end. Ladies, I understand that. But if he kind of a cool dude, he cool, he just wasn't doing it for you. And the new good man got you turned out. You can even tell the good man. You could be like, hey, baby, you know what? We're going to be together, but I got to get this man one good time just to make him feel good. You got to do that sometimes. Sometimes you give him that one good time. And especially if there's some other circumstances, right? Like, I was messing with this one young lady, right? And there was some others. I ain't gonna get into the exact circumstances, but we couldn't be together anymore, right? And she was cool about it. She came over and she gave me the work. She just said, you know what, you know what, because of this, that, I can't get into the particulars of it, but she made sure it was memorable. She made sure. I was like, damn. I ain't even have to tell her to give me severance, but she gave me a good severance package. Got me feeling good afterwards, you know? That's how you do. See, women, y'all want to get that severance pussy. One, it lets him know that it wasn't like totally his fault, even though in your mind it probably was. You know? Two, he knows that this is the last time. There's no ambiguity to it. See, a lot of women that have sex with a dude and he think he gonna get some in a couple days or something, or the next night if he's married or something. He always think you see, dudes never know it's the last time. See, if you let him know it's the last time, you know what? He might even make it a best effort. He might even feel good about it. And shit, yeah, be honest with you, he might have been wanting to break up with you anyway. So, you know what? It's good all the way around. So, you want to do that, ladies. Ladies, give that man that severance. And like I said, depending on how cool he was, depending on what you know, you can give him different packages. You know what? Sometimes you might have to just give him, you might ain't giving me pussy, just give him a good tongue kiss and shit. You know? And of course, if he really jacked up, like I said, had a cousins there, give him some, but just, you know, as long as he know that this is it. And see, he's stronger then, right? You know, you can even make a plan out of it. Just say, look, baby, this ain't working, but why don't we do this shit right? You know, we go to a motel or, well, no, don't go to a motel. Go to some hotel. Go someplace nice and shit. Let's just you know. And I know some, like I said, some women don't want to do that, but trust me. If in his mind he know this the last time, he might be cool about it. Now, like I said, sometimes you just got firemen escort him from the building. You know, you got to gauge it. Like, you definitely do it as a good guy who's, you know, it's like, you know, shit happens. People fall, you know, they go in different directions and all of that. And on a for real, right? On a for real. Now, I know I start off, I'm going to get a little bit more serious right now, right? All relationships ain't supposed to be permanent any damn way. Seriously. If people were really engaging in relationships the way they were supposed to, they would, you know, they'd be together for maybe a year or so. At the end of that year, they would have a party. Because basically, they made that person, you know, the woman made that man better for the next woman, and the man made the woman better for that next man. And people got to realize that after they deal with you, they're going to deal with somebody else. And how they deal with them is largely a reflection of how they dealt with you. And I know some people, they don't want to think that way, but think about it like this. If you hold on to a relationship longer than you really need to, and past the point where either one of you are getting anything out of it, you really only hurting yourself, because then the right person for you might be out there. That's why a lot of people don't really find like the true person they supposed to be with until they older. You know, the person they might supposed to be with might not be the person they have the kids with. You know, the sole purpose of them getting together is just to have those kids. Yeah, I'm giving y'all some deep science now. It's not, you know, or you might be with that one person, like a guy, say he's kind of sexually repressed, kind of introverted, all that. He might get with that, like, that thought, right? And she opened his ass up, and I've actually seen that happen. But then, you know, they don't really work out, but then he's able to move on to the next woman, but then he's bringing something to that woman. And the same thing if a man open a woman up, right? Same thing. You know, he making it better. But see, he also making it better on himself. Because like I said, if you hold on to something longer than you supposed to, you actually hurting yourself. You ain't hurting that person. The better person for you out there, but see, the better person might not cross your path if you still dealing with this other person. And people have to look like that. So, you know, if we were more civilized in this culture, about having a relationship. Once it's over, y'all would both have a party. Y'all would have that party together, right? And y'all will sit back and y'all will jam. Y'all be like, yeah, have a good time. Then y'all just go on and do y'all thing. And you got a few people who actually think that way. They ain't tripping. You know, it is what it is. You know, people gotta get out of some like little jealousy thing, possessiveness thing, man. You know, some people meant to be in your life for a long time, and then some just meant to be in there for a season. So, you know, that's the seriousness of it. Getting back to the PSA. Y'all ladies need to get the severance. If y'all want some peace, seriously, y'all want some peace, y'all want somebody stalking your ass. You know, you don't want that guy like showing up at the club with you, where you trying to party with you and your girlfriends, and he's showing up at the club with some pajamas on. Talking about how could you do this to me? Give him some severance pussy. So, anyway, that's it for today, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Wait, let me add one more thing. I know some women out here hearing this thinking I'm crazy, but ladies, just sit back and think about what I just told you. Think about it. That's all I'm saying. Just think about it. Shit makes sense if you want some peace. And you know what? Yeah, just think about it. I mean, shit, I ain't gonna lie. I've had some good ass severance packages. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.